They say silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. But in a world that never stops talking, most people never hear them. This is the story of a man who climbed a mountain to escape the noise and found that the silence he was searching for had always been inside him. Long ago, there was a man named Leo. He lived in the city, a place where the nights were never quiet and the days never still. He worked in advertising, crafting perfect words to sell imperfect things. His phone was his heartbeat, his inbox, his reflection, and somewhere between the noise of success and the silence of his own thoughts, he forgot who he was. One evening, after another 14-hour day, Leo stood on his apartment balcony and looked at the sky, grey, blurred, lifeless. He felt hollow, like a machine that could no longer tell if it was on or off. His doctor called it burnout. His friends called it just stress. But Leo knew it was something deeper. He packed a small bag and booked a one-way ticket to a remote monastery in the mountains. He didn't tell anyone, he just left like a man running away from his own echo. The monastery was hidden among tall pines wrapped in mist and quiet. When Leo arrived, the monks welcomed him with simple smiles. No questions, no introductions, just calm presence. For the first time in years, no one wanted anything from him. No emails, no messages, no noise. It felt peaceful and terrifying. That night, as he lay in his wooden cot, Leo realized he could hear things he had never noticed before. The creak of the floor, the hum of his own breath, the beating of his heart. It was all too loud. Silence wasn't silence anymore, it was confrontation. Days passed. The monks spent hours in meditation, sweeping the courtyard, tending to gardens, moving like time didn't exist. Leo couldn't stand it. He itched for distraction, for movement, for something to do. Finally, he went to the head monk, an old man with eyes that seemed to hold the sky. Leo said, "I can't do this. The silence is driving me crazy." The monk smiled. "Then the silence is doing its job." Leo frowned. "What do you mean?" The monk handed him a small bowl of water. "Hold it," he said. "Now walk to the courtyard." Leo did as told. "Now," the monk said, "look into the bowl and tell me what you see." Leo stared. "Nothing. The water is shaking." "Because your hands are moving," said the monk. "Now stand still." Leo stopped. Slowly, the water calmed. The reflection of his face appeared, soft, clear, peaceful. The monk looked at him. "The mind is like this water. When it's restless, it can't see clearly. Be still, and everything becomes visible." Something shifted in Leo's chest. He looked at the bowl again, and for the first time saw not just his reflection, but his exhaustion, his confusion, his lostness. He realized how long he had been shaking his life, searching for answers that could only be seen when he stopped moving. That evening, he sat by himself on a rock facing the mountains. He didn't meditate. He didn't pray. He just sat, watching the clouds drift and the sun slide behind the peaks. And somewhere in that silence, he began to hear himself. His thoughts slowed down, his breath deepened. The noise inside him softened until there was nothing left but stillness. He stayed like that for hours. When the head monk came by, Leo whispered, "I think I understand now. I was never searching for peace. I was running from the quiet that could show me my truth." The monk nodded. "Most people fear silence because it shows them who they really are, but only when you face that silence do you find freedom." From that day, Leo stopped fighting the stillness. He embraced it. Each morning, he swept the courtyard without hurry. He listened to the wind instead of music. He breathed without checking his watch, and the more he stopped, the more he began to move, not in haste, but in harmony. Months passed. One day, Leo decided it was time to return to the city. Before he left, the head monk gave him the same bowl of water and said, "Remember, when the world shakes you, find your stillness. Clarity lives there." Back in the city, nothing had changed. But Leo had. He returned to his job, but he no longer rushed. He didn't chase noise, he created space. He didn't speak to fill silence, he spoke to add meaning. When his co-workers asked him how he had become so calm, Leo smiled and said, "I stopped trying to control the river. I just learned to sit beside it." Years later, Leo left the corporate world and started teaching mindfulness and communication to people drowning in noise. He named his program The Bowl of Water. He told his students, "You don't need to find peace somewhere far away. You just need to stop long enough for peace to find you." People would come to his workshop stressed and anxious, but leave quiet and clear, like mirrors wiped of dust. And every time someone said, "I can't stop thinking," Leo would smile and reply, "You don't have to stop thinking, just stop shaking." Before his final class, Leo returned to the mountains one last time. He sat in the same courtyard, bowl in hand, watching his reflection ripple and still. He whispered to the wind. Silence was never empty. It was always speaking. I just wasn't listening. And as the first snowflakes touched the bowl, he smiled, because he had finally heard the sound of silence. The world outside kept spinning, louder, faster, busier. But Leo had learned something timeless, that stillness isn't the absence of life. So when life becomes too loud, when your thoughts scream, your heart races, your world rushes past, you don't need to fight the noise, you just need to be still long enough, because sometimes silence doesn't take your voice.